that I was starting to say that I want to get into is what really demonstrates the ego more than anything else are two actual aspects. This is the inability to admit to oneself that one is wrong. It's the inability to say to oneself, or the admission to the universe, if you will, I was wrong about this. That is what deep entrapment, deep attachment to the ego will never allow. It will never allow those three words to be spoken. Mm-hmm. And I cannot even tell you how many times in my life I've had to speak those words.
How hard is it to get a tyrant to admit they were wrong?
How hard is it to get an addict to admit that they are wrong, that's addicted to anything? Right. How hard is it to get somebody that their entire worldview is based upon that they know this particular thing. I know that this is true for certain. It can't be untrue. That would shatter my entire reality.
That inflexibility makes it null and void.
Yeah.
That totally, it makes it irrelevant. The inflexibility. Now, there may be some truth to it, but no truths are whole truths. Everything is a half-truth. And you have to be flexible in that knowledge, no matter what we're talking about. Does that make sense?
Religion and government are great, big examples. That does make sense. Let's look at it from a perspective of people who absolutely trust religious institutions and think that they're always doing good things.
Right.
You know, not only are they doing bad things by propagating the misunderstanding and misapplications of natural law principles or not understanding them themselves. Look at what goes on in sexual encounters and relationships, inappropriate
trauma like that. Distant violence for people for life.
Sure.
For the rest of the
traumatic experiences. But how many people who go to church on a regular basis, let's say, and supports the Roman Catholic Church, cannot admit this institution is involved in activity like this, in poisonous activity like this, in traumatic activity that is affecting children. It doesn't matter how many documentaries are produced about it. It doesn't matter how many books are written about it. You know, they can't bring themselves to admit this is happening. This level of evil is happening in their midst. The ego prevents them from looking at that. You know, they insist that this cannot be true because I'm a member of it. You know. I see this every day. You see a teacher who will say, the educational system can't be as bad as what you're claiming it to be. It can't harm children at the level that you're claiming it harms them at because I'm a teacher. I'm involved. I do this for a living. You're saying I'm a bad person.
Well, you're challenging the fundament that she built herself from.
That's right. That's that person's identity.
Yeah.
He or she will see themselves as that teacher, which goes back to this first aspect of ego identification, which is attaching to the role that you play, as opposed to understanding the higher self.
When in actuality, that teacher, that example, should have thanked that person for making that comment, because that person revealed to her the level of her attachment to that idea, which just, it's important to have people around you that do that show you how much you're wrapped up in your own stuff.
That's right.